The last normal thing you do is buy a sandwich. Turkey and Swiss on rye from the deli on 4th Street, $8.75. You pay with a crumpled 10 and tell the guy behind the counter to keep the change. He doesn't look up. Nobody in the deli looks up. You eat it standing at the counter by the window, watching the lunch crowd move through the crosswalk the way they always do. Fast, distracted, earbuds in, nobody looking at you, nobody caring. The sandwich is fine. You will think about the sandwich more than you expect to, because $8.75 is about to become a number that no longer exists in your vocabulary, and the guy who didn't look up is about to become the last person on earth who ever treats you like you're ordinary. The notification arrives at 3:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. Your financial team calls it a liquidity event. The press calls it the largest single accumulation of private wealth in human history. The number on the screen is $1.04 trillion. You look at it. You look at it the way you'd look at an equation that can't possibly be right, but keeps checking out no matter how many times you run it. $1,040 billion. That is more than the GDP of the Netherlands, more than 4 Bezoses stacked on top of each other. If you spent $1 million every single day starting right now, you would run out of money in the year 4773. You will not live to see the year 4773. Nobody will. The money will outlast your bloodline. Within 72 hours, your face is on every screen in every country that has screens. You did not agree to this. It doesn't matter. $1 trillion is not a private event. Your building has people outside it now. Hundreds. Some with cameras, some with signs, some just standing there, looking up at windows, trying to guess which one is yours. You look down at them through a gap in the blinds. You feel something you don't have a word for yet. In 6 months, you'll know the word. The word is zoo.
Your security advisor, a man named Garrett, who spent 14 years protecting diplomats in places he can't name, sits across from your kitchen table and explains your new life. 12 operators, armed, rotating 24-hour shifts, armored vehicles, advanced teams for every location you enter, counter surveillance on your phone, your email, your physical mail, your mother's phone, your sister's phone. He says it the way a doctor explains a chronic condition. Manageable, not curable. You nod. You sign the contracts. $11 million a year just to leave your apartment safely. The deli on 4th Street is now a security event requiring 45 minutes of advanced coordination. You stop going. You buy a compound. 14 acres. Iron gates. Guardhouse. Private road. You can't see the main building from the entrance. $200 million. Your accountant logs it as a rounding error. The staff arrives next. Housekeepers, groundskeepers, 2 chefs on rotation, a property manager, drivers, an IT crew just for the cameras, a personal assistant whose personal assistant has a personal assistant. 63 people work in your house within a month. The compound runs like a machine. You are the only moving part that doesn't have a shift schedule. You start spending. Not because you need things, because spending is the only verb $1 trillion understands. A Boeing 747 gutted and rebuilt into a flying residence, $400 million. An island in the South Pacific, a yacht with a helicopter pad, a submarine bay, a full medical facility, $600 million. You furnish rooms you will never sit in. You stock wine cellars with bottles you will never open. You build a theater that seats 60. You have never once invited 60 people anywhere. The spending doesn't dent anything. The money grows faster than you can move it. Sitting in the most boring index funds on earth, your net worth increases by tens of millions every single day. You go to sleep with one number, you wake up with a bigger one. You didn't lift a finger. The money is working a shift you never clocked into.
Then the calls start, not from friends, from lawyers, fund managers, heads of state, foundation directors, strangers who know your accountant's name but not yours. Everyone wants a meeting. Everyone wants your signature on their thing. A $500 million check to disaster relief gets covered for half a news cycle, because relative to your net worth, that's what you earn in a slow week. The public is grateful for about a day. Then they want more. Gratitude has a half-life. Yours is about 14 hours. The friends from before stop calling, not all at once, one by one, like lights going off down a hallway. The ones who do call sound different, careful, measured, choosing their words the way you choose an outfit for a funeral. Your college roommate, the one who used to argue with you about everything, movies, politics, where to eat, that was the whole friendship, visits the compound for a weekend. He agrees with everything you say for 2 straight days. He laughs at jokes that aren't funny. He compliments the wine, the grounds, the guest room. He never pushes back on a single thing. He leaves on Sunday. You stand in the foyer after the door closes and realize you just lost someone who is still alive. That's a kind of grief they don't make cards for. Your mother calls on a Sunday morning. She sounds the same, asks if you're eating enough, tells you about a bird that keeps getting into her garden. For 10 minutes, your shoulders drop and your jaw unclenches, and you are just her kid again, standing in a kitchen that smelled like garlic and dish soap. Then she mentions your brother. He didn't ask her to call. He never would. But the mortgage is behind and the car needs work, and you have more money than some countries, and he's family. You send him a few million that afternoon. He doesn't call to say thank you. At a holiday dinner you flew the entire family to on your 747, he sits at the far end of the table and talks to everyone except you. He leaves before dessert. He doesn't say goodbye. A week later, your mother calls again. Different tone. Quiet. She says your brother told your cousin that you ruined the family, that everything changed when the money came. She's not taking sides. She just doesn't know what to do. She has a security detail she didn't ask for, a son who won't look at his brother, a family that used to fit around a kitchen table and now needs a catering staff and a 747 to be in the same room.
You meet someone. She's sharp, funny in a way that catches you off guard, doesn't mention the money once. 3 weeks in, it starts to feel like something real. Then you notice things. She knows your pilot's first name. She knows which car you prefer for the city. She mentions your island in a conversation you never had with her. Small things. Things that mean she researched you before you ever met. Of course she did. Everyone does. But now there's a question sitting behind every moment with her. Does she like you? Or does she like this? The compound, the jet, the access to a life she'd never touch otherwise. Once that question gets in, it doesn't leave. You stop calling. She texts twice. Then she stops. 2 weeks later, a tabloid runs the story. Photos from the restaurant. Photos of her leaving your compound. She had a private, anonymous life before you. You erased it by sitting across from her at dinner. Your lawyer sent a cease and desist. None of it puts her name back in the box. The lawsuits arrive like weather. 17 in the first 6 months. An old contact claims you owed him from a deal 9 years ago. A woman in Arizona says you promised her $10 million at a fundraiser in 2019. You have never been to Arizona. Most of it is garbage, but each case costs 6 figures to fight and puts your name in a headline. You settled 3, not because they have merit, but because fighting them in public costs more than writing the check. Every settlement gets reported. Every report invites 5 more lawsuits. Your legal budget crosses $40 million for the year. You have an entire floor of a law firm working exclusively on people who want your money and are willing to lie in a courtroom to get it. Tuesday afternoon, you take the yacht out. The ocean is so blue it looks artificial. Sunset turns everything gold. Dinner is pan-seared Dover sole, prepared by a chef who trained for a decade in Michelin-starred kitchens. The table is set for 1. You eat watching the horizon. You go back to the compound. The master suite is larger than your old apartment. You lie there. The ceiling is very white. Around 3 a.m. you're awake. You get up. The compound is dead silent. 60 seats in the theater. Dark. The library. Empty. You walk the main hallway. The only sound is a faint mechanical hum. A security camera at the end of the corridor adjusting, tracking you. You stop. It stops. You step. It follows. You go outside. The grass is wet and cold under your feet. The sky is the same sky you used to stare at from the roof deck of your first apartment when the rent was late and you didn't care. Same stars. Same depth. Same silence. The stars haven't moved. Everything underneath them has. You stand on the lawn until the cold gets into your bones. Then you go inside. You pass the pool you've used 3 times, the tennis court you've never touched, the wine cellar with bottles that cost more than most people's monthly rent, into your office, where 7 screens display your portfolio, your companies, your calendar, and a news ticker that mentions your name twice in the first 30 seconds. You sit down. Outside, security does a shift change. New faces replace old ones. The groundskeeper rides the mower across the lawn. Over 60 people work here. You are the only one who lives here.